Hey, good afternoon, guys. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy. Well, y'all know a lot of the ideas I get is I get them off social media. So we're going to talk about something today. And hey, there's old ham radio cat. Come here, girl. Tell everybody how I ain't seen you in a while. You missed the last video. She's been feeling a little rough, but she's feeling better now. Guys, the subject we're going to talk about today is HF amps, and basically some ideas how to operate barefoot on bands for HF amps. Guys are running amps. All right, I'm not knocking amps by no means. I got a lot of friends that run them and they're great. I ain't got a problem with them at all. I've just never ran one. I actually owned one at one time, and when I first got into this hobby, I was a big gun trader, and I've been an amateur gunsmith and fishing reel repairman and things like that, and I was pretty good at that. So I figured I could be just as good at trading radios, and I found out I wasn't. Especially Kent can back me up on that. He's had to try to fix my last two used purchases. But back in the day, I traded a radio I should have kept for a Dentron amp. And wasn't even legal for me to use. I just thought it looked cool on the bench. He ended up selling it. So I've never operated an amp. All right. You know the rules on a ham radio. Excuse me, my nose. I've been mowing. My nose is giving me fits. 1,500 watts max, or use the amount of power you need to get the desired communication through. All right. I've done videos in the past about, if you're going to run an amp, your whole system has to be capable of handling it, feed line, antennas, etc. All right, so we're going to just talk a little bit today about operating on low bands with guys that are running amps and making contacts. Now, I done a little figuring on my own. I've been licensed since 91. I tapered off operating about 98 due to requirements. I was covered up in the Air Force a lot at the time. Didn't operate at all after about 99 to 2006. I don't operate daily. I've got other stuff going on. I counted up, I've got about 1,200 contacts in written log books. I've got all 50 states, 49 of them on HF. I got Arkansas on 2 meters because of proximity to it. I've got 91 countries on my QRZ log that I didn't start till 2011. I've got about 95 countries in my log book, and I've got 80 QSL cards from countries, and I've got a QSL card by all 50 states. Every one of those were made, with the exception of the one 2 meter contact, on HF. Majority of them on 10 meter phone. There's a few now lately that FT8 contacts because they were rare countries. I had never heard them, but the majority of all of those were on phone contacts. Majority of them 10 meters, some 17. There's a few 20 in there. The post I read was the guy on field day was running barefoot on 20 meters. He kept getting knocked around by the amp guys. He got upset about it. I can understand when you can't get a contact because they're loud. So let's talk about this: how to operate on an HF band barefoot, 100 watts or less. It's real easy, or it has been for me. First, like I've said in earlier videos, sit and listen. If you got a good band open, the band's open good, you hear a DX contact you want to make, before you ever pick the mic up, listen for 5 or 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes. If you have to, jot down some of the call signs that are calling the guy, and that way you can see who he's taking. First off, everybody that operates is going to have a little bit of a pattern. If they're the center of the pile up, they're either going to answer the loudest call they hear, the first call they hear, or in a lot of cases, they'll take the last call they hear. So, If they're taking the first call, it's just got to be fast on the trigger, see if he hears you first. If he's taking the loudest call, he's probably going to take the amp guys first. That's not a problem. I had a country I got on 17 one day. There was two guys knocking me out. They were 30 over on me, and it was a European country. So I just stopped for a few minutes. The guy answered one of them. Then he answered the other one. Well, these guys running amps, they're just trying to make contacts. They're not going to stay in rag chew. As soon as they get to contact, they're going down the band for another contact. He got both of them. He called CQ again. I threw my call out, and he answered me. Real easy. Just take a little patience. Or if you got a guy that is taking the last guy he hears, that can be a little tricky. Sort of like trying to be the 15th caller when Richards does one of his giveaways at MTC. You got to kind of judge on when to throw your call out. My rule of thumb, if I think the guy's taking the last call he hears, the minute he unkeys when he's calling CQ, I count to 3 or 4 and then throw my call out. Sometimes it works. The main thing to remember is this: if you got a guy, say in the Pacific Northwest, because this has happened, let me go back. Let me tell you exactly what happened to me. Had a guy in the Northeast U.S., probably, I think he was in Maine. We was both trying to work South Pacific Island one night, and I knew the 10-meter band was fixing to go out. This guy was booming me out at 30 over. But the guy wasn't picking him up. He never did answer his QQ call, but he didn't answer mine either. So, if you think, because he's hitting you 30 over, he's trying to get his desired communication to that South Pacific island. That's where he's trying to get his power to go to. He may not be but 5'9" down there. He may be 55. That's just the nature of the beast. You're closer to him. He's naturally going to, if the skip's right, it's going to hit you harder than it is them. That's just nature of the beast. You just have to live with it. Don't get upset if somebody is running an amp and you're trying to answer a DX call. I will say this. When I got my license in 91, at first everybody told me, get your general class, get on 20 meters. Get your general class, get on 20 meters. Well, I've been on 20. I've made contacts on 20. I'm not impressed with 20 meters. It's crowded. That's a big DX band because it's open a lot. That's where a lot of your amp guys are going to hang out. Your serious contesters, your serious DXers, they're going to run amps, and the 20 meters is going to be covered up with them. If you're having trouble making contacts there, slip down to 17. You're already a general if you're on 20, so I ain't got to worry about where to tell you to go. Stay in your part of the band. But go to 17 meters, 15 meters, 12 meters. And if 10's open, you got a lot of space to play on 10 meters. And you will make a lot of contacts. Don't get bogged down with how crowded 20 meters is and how hard it is to make a contact on 20 competing with the amp guys. There's no problem there. You just got to tailor your operation to work around them. We all are allowed to use this hobby the same way, and we're all allowed to use an amp. There's no need to get aggravated because somebody's using an amp and maybe keeping you from making a contact on that particular frequency. All right. Now I'm going to give you another tip on how you can be the pile up. Go into your radio on your power settings. Turn it down to 5 watts. Especially on the day the band is open good. Whatever band you're on, the band's open good. Turn that radio down to 5 watts. Find you a clear frequency and start calling CQ QRP and give you call sign. You'll be surprised how quick you're the center of the pile up, and then you get to pick and choose who you answer first. If you can call CQ QRP, maritime mobile, aeronautical mobile, or just mobile and QRP, guarantee you those are ways to become the center of the pile up. I do QRP every now and then just to have fun with it, to see how many people answer you. But the bottom line is this: have fun with this hobby. Enjoy it. If you want an amp, get one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with owning an amp. I haven't never bought one yet. My goal, one of my goals here with the channel, you've seen me, y'all seen me add different modes and different things to the channel I'm trying. I'm looking for a complete, say, a Heathkit station. Tim got a heck of a deal on a complete Heathkit station with a Heathkit amp, and he's redone it and got it all working. That's kind of what I would like to do, redo one, do some videos on how to restore some of those single side tube gear, and maybe use an amp like that. Do I think I will ever have the budget to buy a modern amp to use on a modern radio? I'll have to have a whole lot more disposable income than I got right now. But I enjoy operating barefoot. I always have. If I'm on a frequency that I'm getting pounded out, all I got to do is move to another frequency. But if you're interested in an amp and you've got the deep pockets, check Expert Amps out at Main Trading Company. Richard's a sole dealer in the USA, North and South America for Expert Amps. He's selling a lot of them. If you got some trading gear, he'll trade with you. They're expensive, but for everything I've read about them, they may be the way to go. So, and there's other amps that are still out there, tube amps, things like that. The problem with some of these tube amps is finding good tubes for them, and they're going to get harder and harder to find as time goes on. But don't let the fact that you're on the air with a barefoot station and trying to work DX and the amp guys are blowing you out on whatever frequency you are, just move. Or wait them out. Real simple. You can operate 100 watts, 25 watts, 5 watts, make lots of contacts and enjoy this hobby. And that's what it's all about. That's what I want to see you doing, is enjoying the hobby and making contacts. Don't get caught up over stuff like that. Amps are here, they've been here, and they're going to be here as long as we got ham radio. Guys, remember Main Trading Company in Paris? They're fixed to move into their new building, and they're still the only dealer for the U.S. for Expert Amps. Richard takes trades. He'll fix you right up. I plan to be at the Shreveport Ham Fest in August and Mena in September. I'm going to keep MFJ as logo in my videos as long as they got their website up. I hate to see them go. Guys, we're at like 1,546 subscribers. We hit 1,700, we go do another giveaway. Thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel and enjoyed listening to me and seeing old ham radio cat. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.